what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Battlefield Project podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Rhoda, and this is the podcast for people who understand that life is a battle and only the strong will thrive. I'm joined by my good friend, Mark. I'm going to say your name here. I'm going to get it wrong. Ferrelli?
You got it, brother.
Damn. Hell yeah. Cool. Mark, let the people, and I'm going to blow him up here on the spot a little bit. I never got a bio from him, so I don't have my formal introduction. So I'm going to turn the floor over to him for a couple seconds here to let everyone out there know who he is, what he does, and what he's all about.
Yeah, Matt, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Husband, father first, just a God-fearing Christian, entrepreneur, workout, fitness enthusiast, I guess you can say.
Yep.
Yeah, just trying to do my best each and every day, brother.
That's it. And if you're not following Mark, follow him. There's not many people I follow on social media that are a little bit older than me that I'm like, I aspire to be that. But Mark is one of the guys where I see his workout photos and stuff. I'm like, okay, 5 years from now, 7 years from now, like that's what I want to look like. So I appreciate having you in my circle, brother.
Yeah, man. Likewise.
Yeah, cool, man. So yeah, like we mentioned before, we hit the record button. Floor is yours. Basically, any battle you've experienced in life, and then what you did to fight your way through that battle. And I always say, the winners in life are the people who take those battles head on, face them, fight their way through it, and that's why they live happy, successful lives. They don't play the victim card. They don't let life defeat them. We all understand that everybody gets punched in the gut, and it's the winners who punch back who win. So I'm interested to hear some of the battles you've experienced and how you fought your way through them.
Yeah, man. We could start kind of early in life. You brought up that victim card thing.
Yeah.
Coincidentally enough, I was kind of raised in a household where that was kind of the standard, the victim card, the kind of woe is meism. So I kind of grew up in that a little bit, even though I always had this, this feeling of wanting more, entrepreneurship. My whole family, all the men were all either military, police, firefighters, just a long line of that throughout my family. And I always knew that I was just built a little bit different, like,
Yep.
Kind of outside the black sheep, so to speak.
Yep.
So it took me a while, honestly, man, to get out of that mindset. I opened my first business when I was 19, 20 years old. I had a little pizzeria, Italian joint. But now that I look back on it, it was just a great learning experience for business. But when I look back on that experience, there was a lot of like, well, this person didn't do that. Well, this person didn't do that. I didn't take enough responsibility on myself in those situations. Especially with being, an entrepreneur for the first time, very young. I didn't listen to those ahead of me. I didn't take the advice. I was young, egotistical. I know it all, right?
Oh, yeah.
I could do this. So it was, on one hand, it was a great learning experience for business and just growing up. On the other hand, it was a real eye opener. Like, hey, you got to start taking shit seriously, and everything's your fault. Like, if you look back on it, like, that's one of the phrases I like never allow my kids to say is, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Like, you are not allowed to say it. My kids are 9 and 7, and they can tell you that. Like, you are not allowed to say it's not my job and it's not my fault. Like,
yeah,
I don't care whose fault it is. You don't say those words. Like, just fix it.
Yep.
Just fix it. Period.
Take ownership.
So that was at a very young age. I kind of realized that, especially in that business space, which kind of propelled me, still not as fast as I would have liked, but kind of propelled me down that personal development path.
Yeah.
Kind of get into more books. This is 25 years ago, so
yeah,
that's all it was books. It wasn't podcasts and stuff then.
Yep.
But kind of interest me in the personal development and the Tony Robbins stuff way back when, and so that kind of propelled me on that path. And then most recently, here in the last 3 years, was probably the biggest mental challenge that I've ever faced. Back in 2020, we all know what happened. We all know that it was bullshit, but it affected me personally, because my business was one of the ones that got shut down.
Okay. And what was your business, or what is
locally?
your business?
I have a wine and spirit distribution company, so
okay.
We kind of go as that industry goes.
Mm-hmm.
The busier they are, the better we do. So they were one of the first to get shut down, the bars, restaurants, hotels, what have
Yep.
you. So when they got shut down, essentially, we got shut down.
Yeah.
If they're not doing business, we can't do business. So that was at this point, I'm 12, 13 years into that business. Um, Honestly, Dan, just kind of coasting, like things were
Yeah.
great. Um, Business was just rolling along. Numbers were good, which again was another eye opener. I was kind of getting lackadaisical, right? Like when you get
Mm-hmm.
to a certain point in business, like it almost kind of runs itself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So when the business got shut down, like literally zero, like zero.
Yeah.
I went from like being on pace to 20, like the first 2 months of 2020. I remember doing my books, and I'm like, holy shit, this could be a record year. Like,
Yeah.
I have to start looking at more trucks, more guys, and then just to go to zero like that, it was a mental challenge like I've never faced before, because my whole identity was just crushed
Yeah.
like that. Like within 2 weeks' time, like
Yeah.
just gone. Like, who am I? What am I doing? Like, how did I let this happen? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I take extreme ownership in everything now at this point in my life. So to me, it was all my fault. Like, how did I let this happen? Why didn't I have something else going on? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that?
Yep.
So, thankfully I was, pretty good with my money. I had some money saved, and thankfully my wife also works, has a very good job. So we were able, to survive for a couple of years until things opened up. But that was probably one of the most mental challenges
Yeah.
I've had. Aside from that, in 2020, 3 months after my business got shut down, my mom passed away. And then 3 months after that, my grandfather passed away. So
Ish. Yeah.
that
Compound
that whole
effect.
yeah that whole year was just mind fuck like no other. Just to put it
Yeah.
bluntly.
Yeah.
To put it bluntly.
How long
Um,
was your business shut down? Like pretty much, I mean, not necessarily like shut down, but like dead because everything going on.
it was down for about 8 months, I believe.
That's a long
But then
time.
it was slowly like, I get like 10% back, and about 20%, that it would kind of be in limbo. Didn't really come back like full force for about, 18 months or so.
Wow. Yeah.
But I'm grateful as ever now, man. We've never been this busy. So,
Yeah.
um, and which taught me a lot of things about my business too. Like when we come back, I had a meeting with my guys. Like, look, we got to do things differently. This is
Mm-hmm.
how we're going to do them, and then we kind of set it up different when we come back to be better in the long run, which is paying off already now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what winners do, man. You get knocked down, you get back up, figure out why you took that punch and how you can avoid that punch next time, get stronger so the punch doesn't even phase you if it happens again.
Right. That's exactly right. Um, yeah, but throughout that entire year, it was, I'm trying to keep it together for my family.
Yeah.
During all that time, I'm trying to keep it together for my dad. Like when I look back on that year, it was as bad as it sucked and as horrible as it was kind of a blessing. Like we just
Mm-hmm.
talked about, like it taught me lessons in my business, right? B, like I was able to be there for my dad. Like, I mean,
Yep.
I would have been there, but
Yep.
I was able to be there like I would not have if my business would have been open,
Yeah.
like every step of the way. And I was able to be there for my family, quite frankly. Like, my dad, like losing his wife of 47 years, and then losing his dad, like his mental state wasn't great. So they're now everybody's looking at me like to make
Yeah.
decisions. So I'm like, all right, like I guess my time's now,
Yeah.
So
Put all my struggles to the side. I got other people to help.
right. So it was a huge, at this point in my life, so I was 45 then, a huge learning point, like just mentally and also physically, Matt. Like, listen, I've been working out. Like I used to ride my bike to Gold's Gym when I was 14 years old. Like it's been a
Yeah.
long time. There's been
Yeah.
ebbs and flows. I went through years where I didn't, but that was the other thing that year where I did 75 hard twice that year. And Matt, there were days like I was so down in the dumps. Like those 5 tasks, like were the only thing I did. Like
Yeah.
that was it. Like that's what
Yeah.
kept me going. Some of those days, like, all
Yeah.
right, I got to do this. And there was one time on the second round, I specifically remember it was my grandfather's funeral. I was doing 75 hard, and we got back from that long day. Like it was the burial day, and it was like 10:30 at night. And I still had to do my outdoor, and I'm just like sitting at the kitchen table going, I can't. Like And I just thought, like, what would my grandfather say?
Yeah.
Get your shoes on and go.
Yep. Get
That's
it
what he would
done.
say. Finish what you
Yeah.
started.
Yep.
So
You made a commitment.
there,
See it through.
there I went. So
Yeah. Dude,
huge,
that's the
huge year.
power of even small little things on a daily basis, man. Because, like you said, those days where you were just like, "Fuck it," like I don't have it in me. I'm not doing this. But all right, I made a commitment to do these 5 things on every. Like, imagine, and now this is like drastic, but let's say you weren't doing 75 hard. Those days came, they rolled around, and you didn't have the motivation to do those 5 things because you weren't laser focused on those 5, so you didn't do anything. Maybe just that one day where you didn't do those 5 things sent you down a completely different path, and we're not sitting here talking about it, and you're not finding like the silver lining and the blessings through it all because you're still beating yourself up, you're still down in the dumps, you've completely gone off the rack and the trails, and you're in a totally different headspace and physical space. But because you had those things that you said, I'm doing it no matter what, and you stuck to it, you fought your way through it a whole lot easier than you probably would have had you just given up on everything all at once.
But dude, there's no doubt. Like I know, like I mean, because I've been in situations before over the years where I wasn't working out. So the working out for me is like the catalyst. Like that's the
Same.
start of my day. Like if I'm not working out and putting in a fitness routine, everything else falls. Like
Yep.
everything, business, family, relationships. That is the number one thing for me. Like if I'm not doing something physical every day, everything else just falls.
Yep.
So
I'm right there with
I
you.
know that from other points in my life. So like especially that year, like if I wasn't doing 75 hard twice, like I know like I would have been
Things
probably,
would have fallen apart.
yeah, way overweight, just out of shape. Like who knows? Like you said,
Yeah.
who knows? And I may still be in that hole. Who You
That's
have
what I'm
no
saying.
idea.
Yeah. It's crazy how
You have no idea.
little decisions. Yeah.
And
Dude, I
now
love,
like I'm more into fitness than I've ever been in my entire life at this point. And I think it's because of that.
yeah.
You know, the mental aspect of that year that I was able to push through.
I was just running with my buddy this morning. We were talking about COVID. We were talking about something, and COVID came up, and how people still are using that as an excuse of like, well, the reason I'm not starting my business was because COVID happened 3 years ago, or the reason I'm fat and lazy and out of shape and don't care about my health because COVID existed three. And we were just like, yeah, that's like, I empathize a little bit with people because it was a mental assault. Like they definitely came hard at the human psyche, and the people who weren't strong enough to fight through that, they got knocked down, and some of them are still down from it. But I said to him, within, when the gym closed down that I was going to, when COVID was at its beginning scary peak, I think it was like a week, and I was like, I'm building my home gym, and I put like $10,000, $15,000 into that, and that was like all of our savings. Like that was a big chunk of our money, but to me it was
Yeah.
just like, I'm either gonna, and I didn't know it at the time, but like I was blessed with that like subconscious foresight, I guess, was like, I'm either going to get stronger right now, or I'm going to like give up and get weak and join the masses that just throw in the towel. And that time in my life has, like, a couple years prior to that, I enjoyed fitness and it was part of who I was. But through that and realizing how much strength that gave me, and now like I'm, light years ahead of where I was 3 years ago, physically, mentally, spiritually, with relationships, like all the above. Like, thank God I made that decision to make
Yeah.
fitness a big part of my life. And now it's like you said, dude, there's days where I force myself to take a rest day because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I ran a 50K yesterday, and like I lifted in the morning, like maybe I should just chill out today.
Yeah.
And it like those days drive me nuts. Like, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
know I need to. I just like give your body a chance to rest. But like I'm agitated a little bit. Like I'm like, I just want to, even if it's half hour, like I just want to lift something heavy. I know exactly what you mean, man, in terms of like every day has to have that element to it, because if I'm not strong there, then I'm not strong in any other place. I mean, I am, but I'm not as strong as I want to
Right.
be. And it's just a psychology thing that you take with you. Like you carry it around like a badge of honor. It's just like, and it's a
Yeah.
personal badge of honor. Like I put in work today. I could do anything else I set my mind to.
Yeah. No, I'm on the same page and agree 1000%, man. And to
Yeah.
those people that like, I sympathize with those people too. Like we don't know what other people are dealing with, especially
Yep.
upstairs mentally. Like that's why like I do my very best, like even on my worst days, just to be kind to people, man, because you
Same.
have no idea what they're going through. Like if you just open a door for somebody, that may have just changed the trajectory of the rest of their day. Like they may
And
have thought
life.
about something like, yeah,
Yep.
you don't know. But as far as the fitness aspect, I tell people like, look, like yesterday doesn't matter. a month ago doesn't matter. A year ago doesn't matter. Like 5 minutes ago doesn't matter. It's gone.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
just start.
Yeah.
Just start. And the biggest piece I think a lot of people miss is just be honest with yourself too. Like
Yeah.
you got to be honest with where you're at, like right this second. Like
Yeah.
if you used to be a bodybuilder 20 years ago and you're ready to get back into fitness, you're not going to walk in the gym and bench 405, bro.
Yep.
Like you got to work
Yeah.
back to it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you've never done anything in your life and you're 37 years old and you're out of shape, like join a gym, go for 10 minutes, walk on a treadmill, go home.
Yeah.
Do that for 5 days first week, and then do
Yep.
15 minutes, like
Yep.
slow increment steps. Now, with that said, there's a certain segment of people I believe that can go all in and stick with it, but I think that's very, very
Yeah.
small.
Yeah. I would agree
Very
with you.
small. That's why I like suggest people just baby steps, man. Just
Yeah.
one step at a time. Just be consistent.
Yeah.
Like
That's
just be
it.
consistent. And if your diet sucks, just trim back on that too.
That's it.
Like if you're drinking 4 cans of Coke a day, like drink 3 tomorrow.
I say
Don't
cut
cut
2
it
of them
all
out
out.
if you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Drink 3 tomorrow or for the next week. Then the next week drink 2. Like
Yeah.
don't you try to cut it all out, you're just gonna crash.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion anyway. My
Now,
experience too, like with myself.
It's right on, man. And I've had people reach out to me over the years. How do I get in shape like you? And I'm like, I'm here, and they're like 7 years back, and like super. And I'm like, go for a half a mile walk each day for the next 5 days. And like you said, like cut soda out if you can. Like don't do anything crazy. Don't even worry about lifting a weight. Don't just do that, build momentum, stack those little wins. And then next week, extend the walk and maybe eliminate alcohol for a week if you can, to see how you feel. And just like, okay, you did those 2 successfully, stack some more wins. What's the third week look like? And it's the people though, and I can tell you, those people that have reached out, I'd say 3 of them over the last couple of years that I was like, it's going to be a huge mountain for you to climb because they're way back there. And I'm like, here's the things you got to do. I never hear from them again because I think they're looking for, what supplement do you take? Yeah, like name one thing that I can do today that within a week I'm going to be close to what you are. And I'm like, it's like you said, you've been lifting since 14 or whatever, 13. Like, I haven't been that, but like I lifted through high school, a little bit through college. So I've had a baseline. And then seriously now for the last like 7 years, like on a daily basis, I'm doing work. So it's like, it doesn't just happen like poof, I drink a certain supplement and I wake up tomorrow and I got 6-pack abs and I'm walking around, with low body fat. Like it's everything I eat on a daily basis. It's a gallon of water every day. It's moving every day. It's 10,000 steps plus every day. It's like, yeah. So those people that look for those shortcuts, man, there's nothing that drives me or the whole, it must be nice. It's like, it is, but it isn't, man. Like, trust me. I always say I'd rather eat a cheesesteak every night and have and wash it down with ice cream. Like if I could eat that and still like perform how I perform and look how I look, I would do that in a fucking heartbeat. Like I would love every night, but I'm like, I can't do that because like, if I do that, then I'm going way back there with the rest of them. I'm like, I'm not going back there with the rest of them. Yeah.
Oh, that must be nice. There's no worse saying in it.
Yeah.
The worst.
Like, yeah. It must be nice to work from home.
So people will like, here's the problem. Like there's so much information out there and so many programs, so many gyms. Like on one hand, it's a good thing because there's options, but the other thing, it's a bad thing because people are like get confused,
overwhelmed.
So like somebody new to fitness, I tell them just to try things like, try CrossFit, try running. Maybe you're a runner, try lifting weights, maybe try powerlifting. Like, there's so many different things you can try. Like if you're brand new to this, like try them. Like, everybody, like I have friends that do CrossFit. I'm not into CrossFit. It's not my jam. Like if that works for you, good. Go all in
on it.
Like you run. The only thing I'm running from is dog or the cops. Like, but that works for you, so do it. You know what I mean? Like find what works for you, and that you'll be more apt to actually do it every day if you actually like it.
Yeah, that's it.
Or enjoy somewhat doing it.
Yeah,
it's never really enjoyable each and every day, but if you have a support group you can go see, or somebody's holding you accountable. That's the other thing. Like find somebody to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Even if it's a phone call or something. Hey, you go to the gym today? Like something.
Or follow someone on social media that like is where you want to be, because you're going to see that accountability that you see on a daily, weekly basis of putting in the work. And it's like, okay, like I want to get to where Mark's at. Like I see every single freaking day he's at the gym before the sun rises. Like, okay, like if I do that, I can eventually get to that point or somewhat close to that. But if I choose not to every day and Mark's still doing the work, like then, like you said at one point, be honest with yourself, then look yourself in the mirror and be like, well, I'm never going to get to that point then because I'm not doing what this guy's doing on a daily basis. And that's
Right.
fine. Not everybody's
Right.
meant for like the next level, but don't fool yourself that you can get to the next level without doing every single thing to get you there.
That's exactly right. You know, I had a conversation with my trainer about this the other day. Like he had a client that the weight just wasn't moving the scale. And he's like, what's going on? He's like, listen, like, I like working out with you. Like, I like working out, but I'm going to leave here and meet my buddies and go eat wings and drink beer.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, we just don't have to talk about nutrition. No. Okay, good. Like, let's just work out then. Like, if you're honest with yourself, like, fine.
Live a happy life. Yeah.
Don't expect to look different.
Yeah.
I mean, you may be a little bit healthier and stronger because you are working out, but don't expect to look different.
A drastic change. Yeah.
So
awesome, man. Well, as we wrap up here, I want to touch on two things that you said because I thought they were like extremely important and valuable for the listeners to hear and understand. Is when you got with the COVID thing, when your business pretty much got shut down and stuff, how I don't know how quickly that mindset seeped into you and kind of became what you were thinking, but how you looked at that as a blessing. I think that is probably, if I would say like, what's the secret to happiness in life? I think that's probably like a top two thing is finding a silver lining in everything and finding a blessing amidst the chaos or amidst the tragedy. Like I've been very, very blessed to be able to do that for as long as I can remember. Anytime something bad would happen, I'm immediate. And like, again, that's not saying like I ignore what was bad and I don't learn from it and I'm in la la land at like, oh, that didn't happen. Butterflies and rainbows. That's not it. But I look at that and go, okay, that is what happened. But like, what's a blessing that has either come out of that already or can come out of that? And if you can live from that standpoint and kind of navigate your way through life with that kind of perspective and always looking for that, it's crazy how like, you know, you lost your job, not lost your job, but like you lost your business for the most part, hit pause, you know, lost your, you said, who else? Your mom and then your dad,
my grandfather.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's major blows. Like those are major life-changing moments that can knock someone down and out permanently, but you pretty quickly shifted it. Like when my dad died 2 summers ago, it was one of the saddest moments of my life, but I immediately shifted it to like, it's a blessing for my mom because now she's free to experience life with grandkids because she doesn't have to be home taking care of her husband, who's pretty much like, just, I hate to say like a vegetable, but in essence, like kind of like a vegetable laying on a bed, like not functioning at all.
Yeah.
And that helped me so much get through that pain and that sorrow because it was like, I could look and be like, oh, this isn't fair. I'm 37. My dad's dead. I want, like, he's not going to get to see me raise my family. Like, and all that still is inside of me. And like those thoughts happen, but a greater perspective and like a positive spin on all that is what I focus on. And I let those feelings come and go, but I stay focused on that positive stuff that came from it. So
right. The other big thing I learned during that year is gratitude, man. Like how big of a role that plays in life. Like I wake up every single day because I had this, you know, this moment during that year where I was just like nothing. I felt empty. Like I literally was looking in the mirror and just felt nothing. And I just, you know, all of a sudden just like I was just grateful for being alive. Like how many people this morning didn't wake up like on this earth? Like as bad as your worst day is, I just heard this the other day. I think I can't remember who it was from, but he said, as bad as your worst day is someone else's dream.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Like,
ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
Like, I could I have 40 of these in my fridge. Like, somebody would kill me for this right now.
Yeah.
On the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
Like, something so minute like this, like a bottle of water. So just have immense amount of gratitude and be grateful for everything, man. Like, break it down to the ridiculous is what I'm talking about. Like, it's easy to say, oh, I'm grateful for my business, my kids. Like, break it down to the ridiculous. Like, and you'll start to feel like
on top of the
just
world.
Kind of feel it like throughout the day. Like,
and
like you say, when things happen, it's more like, okay. I'm like you now. Like, all right, this sucks. What can this teach me? You know? What can I learn from this? Why is this happening? You know, this happening, what's Ed say, happening for me, not to me. Like, so what's going to come out of this? What could come out? Especially, and you know this too, with kids around, like man, it's such a teachable moment for them. Like when things
Yeah.
happen like that and they're around, like you could really have an impact. Like,
Yeah.
is dad gonna freak out and throw something across the room, or how's he
Yep.
gonna deal with this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Watching, kind of jump the subjects here, but I'm enjoying the conversation.
yeah,
When my dad passed, being able to help she would have been three-ish, almost three or just over three, our oldest daughter, Caroline, navigate that was, it's gonna sound weird, but like it was so much fun for me because, like some parents, like death is taboo. Like we're not gonna talk about what happened to Pop. Like you don't,
right.
he's just gone. Like, or the parents are so devastated that the kid constantly sees sorrow and pain, and then they absorb that. I mean, my wife got these incredible books. One's The Invisible Heartstring, which is like, if anyone out there is listening and like you've experienced loss and you have a little kid, get that book because it teaches like no matter where you are, heaven, like three doors down in a different room, there's this invisible heartstring that connects everybody that loves each other. So like we constantly are like, but it was just so much fun because even now, God, it was probably like 2 weeks ago, she said something about, well, and she gets it, but she's still a 4-year-old kid. She's like, well, is he ever coming back? And we're like, no, sweetheart, like that's what death is. Like he's up in heaven with Jesus, and like he's
Right.
not coming back, but like he's all around us. Like even though his body's not here, his spirit is still like right next to us in this room right now. And it's just such a cool thing to be able to help mold a little
Yes.
brain and a little heart and soul to
Yep.
experience life from that perspective. And I look at our kids. Just last night I looked at him and I was like adoring Miles and like loving on him. And I'm like, man, like what a blessing these four souls have in this world, that they have parents who like love them more than words can describe. And then there's
Mm.
other kids in the world who are neglected, who are abused, who are
Yeah, man.
forgotten about, who are kicked to the curb. And I'm like, what a difference those realities are. Like, and these little kids, like our 4-year-old, she doesn't even realize how lucky she is. Like we tell her all the time, like be grateful, like we
Right.
teach that to them, but she doesn't fully grasp like what the
Right.
other spectrum looks like. So I think that's it, man. It's like gratitude from like an adult perspective. How important is that? And then when you live that way and you can teach others to find gratitude in every situation,
Yeah.
man, if the whole world operated from a perspective of, even if something bad happens, would there still something to be grateful for? I woke up today to experience this bad thing. Like
Right.
winning, like the whole
Yes.
world could improve
Yes.
so quickly.
Yeah, and with children, man, you know this. I heard this a long time ago, and it didn't sink in until I had kids, and I had kids later in life. But more is caught than taught. Like you can say
Yeah.
all you want, but they're watching everything, man. Just
Yep.
everything. Like I go to the gym, and my wife goes to the gym in the morning too. Like our kids know where we're at, what we're doing. Like a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, I think I might have posted it. Like it was like 9 o'clock at night, like bedtime. My son's like, "Dad, you come here." I'm like, "Kid's supposed to be sleeping." I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I need your help with something. Like, I'm like, all right, it's got to be Legos or something. I go in, he's got this piece of paper and like he's charting out like his workout plan he wants to
Oh
do.
man.
And
Yeah.
it was, man, it was such a proud dad moment. Like,
Yeah.
and I've never talked to him, like, never forced him to do anything. Like, he
Yep.
just thought about it on his own and wanted to do something.
Yeah.
They catch everything, man. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's over Christmas we were watching a Christmas movie, and I don't remember what it was. But somebody said like, "Oh, Santa makes the gifts" or something like that. And my
Mhm.
wife and my daughter perks up. No, he doesn't. God does. And
Yeah.
my wife and I looked at each other like, "Wow, that's a winning
Yeah.
moment right there."
Right. Exactly. Like she gets it already,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
So it's just a really cool dad moment, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's man, what a blessing kids are. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If nothing else to be grateful for in the world, it's that, man.
yeah. But I'm not to pivot real quick. I mean, back on the fitness thing for people, especially newer people want to get started. My biggest thing, and if I could help, please reach out. Like, build, create a routine, right?
Hmm.
Create something that you're going to follow, which will build the discipline, and then you live that lifestyle. Like,
Yeah.
routine first, build the discipline through that routine, then live that lifestyle.
Yep.
And it's a hard thing to do, man. It took me a long time to do this. Like,
Same.
and when I say live the lifestyle, what I mean by that is get to a point, like, unless you're doing a bodybuilding show or 75 hour, like, which I'm not right now. So tonight, my kids want to have ice cream. I'll have a bowl of ice cream.
Same.
Like,
Yep.
I'm not gonna have it tomorrow or the day
Yep.
after that. I might wait 4 or 5 days, but it's not a big deal. Like, we're
Yeah.
in the past, I might have let that snowball, like, oh, we're
Oh,
watching
yeah.
tonight, tomorrow morning, yeah, nah,
Yeah.
maybe I'll have a donut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It took me a long time to get to that point. So that's probably like my number one piece of advice for people, especially newer people.
Yeah.
Like, create the routine, build the discipline through that routine, and then live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, but you can do it.
But doable. Yeah.
Yeah,
And if
for
you want to
sure.
live a optimized life, it's a necessity. Like
Yeah,
you have to do
absolutely,
it. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Or be honest and happy with where you're at in life.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. If you're, I question people that say they're happy with that
Agreed.
life.
Yeah.
But if you are truly happy, like
Yep.
if you go work out every day, but you still eat like shit, and you're truly happy, then good.
Yeah.
If you're truly happy,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
How
if
much
you
can we
are, then
stress the
good.
word if? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
I'm
if
gonna
that works
pivot
for you,
real
then that
quick
works.
to the one of the first things you said. And let's end with this. Is you mentioned you grew up in an environment where it was kind of the victim card and woe is me. Doing my suggestion to anybody listening to this, because it sounds to me like you were blessed with like a instinct, like intuition to know like I'm different than that. Like that's not who I want to be, how I want to operate. Not everybody has that. But do an audit, especially anyone listening to this as an adult. Probably, I don't think we have little kids who are listening to this. I'd be shocked. But as an adult, do an audit of who you surround yourself with, because if you are surrounded by people that when you get together, you gossip, you talk about how shitty everything is, how life's not fair, and you're just constantly snowballing how bad everything is, you got to change your circle. Like the importance of your circle and who you surround yourself with and the communication that you have in those circles and in those groups can either break you down and crush you or build you up and like put you into the stratosphere. It's such an important part of the puzzle. It's something that in high school, my circle was who I chose, and all very, very, very good people. And in high school, not many people have aspirations, but man, I kind of wish in high school I would have been laser focused and surrounded
Me too.
myself with people who had aspirations, because I don't know where I'd be today. Like I'm grateful for where I am today and I wouldn't change anything, but it's just like a mind trick. I'm like, shit, man, if instead of driving around all like every weekend smoking weed with my friends, high
Yeah.
school and college, if like I would have worked and invested that money into real estate or something, like my
Right.
God, where could I be financially right now? So do an audit, like look at the people who you spend your time with and then look at the conversations you have with those people. And if they're not lifting you up, it sucks and it hurts, and they'll get butt hurt to a certain degree if you cut them out, and do it kindly, but find some space and separation between you and them and find a circle that will lift you up. And even if it's just social media friends that you follow and communicate with, that is better. 10 positive social media friends is better than 2 real life Debbie Downers that are just going to constantly suck your energy out of you.
Absolutely, man. Everybody should just rewind that last minute, listen to it again.
Yeah, and do it, man.
Nothing
Execute
more to
on it.
add there, man.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll add to that is watch your social media circle too.
Correct.
Like,
absolutely.
Careful who you're following. Careful. Like, listen, I'm an imperfect human. Like, right. There's days where I'm like, shit, I just scrolled for 40 minutes. Like, all right, enough.
Yep.
But be very conscious and careful with that.
Yeah.
A, how much you're on there scrolling for no reason, and B, exactly who you're following and what that's giving you.
What you're digesting.
What kind of energy is that giving you?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
That's
awesome,
the only thing I
man.
would add to that. But yeah.
Beautiful. Where can people find you online if they want to connect with you?
At Mark_Ferrelli on Instagram, Mark Ferrelli Facebook. Yeah, that's probably the best way.
And then real quick, do a quick promo for This New Day.
Yeah, This New Day apparel that was born out of that year we talked about. We didn't get into the story much, but you can go to this new day apparel.com or tndapparel.com. Check it out there. Faith-based, based upon the experience I kind of touched on there about gratitude. So really centered around gratitude.
Awesome, man.
And having gratitude for this new day.
Beautiful. Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for being on the show, man. I appreciate our friendship.
Thanks
I appreciate the inspiration you provide and just the overall great human being that you are and the message you're putting out there to the world, man. Thank you.
Yeah. If I could end on one thing real quick.
Please do.
It took me too long to realize this after that year, but like, if you're hurting, man, go talk to somebody. Like, go find somebody to talk to. Like, it took me, I just started talking like somebody like 7 months ago. That's like almost 2 years later.
Yeah.
Like, I pushed my feelings and demons down for probably too long. Like, go talk to somebody, man. That's all.
And there are people out there that want to hear you and help you and listen to you. So don't think no one will help. Like, there's a world of people out there that'll help you.
Get some help if needed. For
Yeah.
sure. There's no shame in it whatsoever.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for being here. Everybody listening, I appreciate it. Share the show if you found some value in it. That's how we're going to grow this thing. And I will see you all on the battlefield.